Hi, I'm Joe Carrero. I think we can all agree we do need a change. It's going to be awfully tough to get out of this recession when all these economic and financial experts that were appointed by President Obama have no idea what a recession is. Think about it. These folks were so busy up to their eyeballs manipulating our financial system over the years to make enormous profits for their friends that they had no idea that they were gambling with our future right in the midst of a recession that they were causing to make worse. Of course, there was also President Bush proclaiming how good the economy was and how we in the government could continue investing and spending without a worry of a downturn. Those comments drove the recession deeper. And those folks in government and Wall Street who were so obsessed with greed and corruption it breeds never thought to go before the antiquated formulas defining a recession. Many years ago when I was a stockbroker, and even later when I was in graduate school, the classic formula for recognizing recession was essentially and simply 2 consecutive quarters of negative growth. I recognized years ago that that could no longer be a measure of a recession. A few years ago, as chairman of our state's Legislative Investment Oversight Committee that examined billions of dollars in investments, I warned of a recession to the Bush administration and to my state's legislature and finance and investment advisors. My analysis recognized that this out-of-date recession formula was being depended upon by a bunch of lazy, inept bureaucrats who didn't recognize that financial times had drastically changed from the formula I was taught in graduate school. That was then, when we would leave the house in the morning with $20 cash in our pocket, buy gas for our cars with $7 cash, spend another $8 on groceries, go home and pay our utility bills, mortgage, and car payments with the money we had in our checking account, and then start the next day with $5 cash in our pockets. That was then, this is now. When we go to fill up our cars with $60 worth of gas by zipping a credit card and paying at the grocery store with the same card, and then going home to have our utility bills, mortgage, and even car payment paid by the same credit without even worrying about writing a check or how much money is in our bank accounts, which usually isn't enough to cover all those inflated payments. While it's easy to figure a formula based on just cash revenues and expenditures, years ago I said the formulas had to change because they weren't taking into account unknown personal debt encouraged by easy credit that would affect future purchases, foreclosure on homes, and the ability for an average working class citizen to pay everyday bills, and a host of other challenges that present themselves when individual debt affects the national economy. The federal government needs to change these formulas so that we all get a clearer picture of where our economy stands. But it obviously has been to their benefit to keep us in the dark so that we don't know how bad off our economy really is in our country. We demand that our government's economic advisors offer competency and transparency to put together accurate formulas that reflect our current economic condition, so we can once again begin to trust our government and figure out how deep a recession we are really in before it becomes a depression we can't get out of. So stay alert, folks. I think the worst is yet to come. And thanks for listening to An Average Joe.